Diaz Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here goes another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I said what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Here goes a motherfucking another one. Bye-ya. 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 Orderly, as you can tell by that thumbnail, chili dogs. Wiener schnitzel. ¿Sabes qué? Con cebolla and everything. They like them that way, right? The long way. Foot long. Hefty cinch sack. Big sack, right? Man, what is going on in the YouTube world? Crip. Orale, man. Shout out some respects to the Crips, and this video is in no way meant to disrespect or be derogatory towards Crips, because I got a lot of love, a lot of respect for the Crippin', right? But at the same time, these three individuals, Bricc Baby, C-Mac, 50 Vic, huh? Right? And of course, whoever this cat was from Texas, we're gonna throw Sharp to the side right now because he was trying to pop. He was over there like this, right? Sharp was over there trying to set something down on the track. These three decided that if for no other reason they were gonna sit down together and have an afternoon special. Now, let me tell you something about Cripmac. The Crippin' is supposedly supposed to be real with him. This is super Crip. It's a bird. It's a plane. Nah, some J-Cat lame, right? This is super Crip, right? This is C-Mac, and he has this persona, and he's making Crippin' mainstream. I mean, he's doing it after Snoop Dogg, but he's doing it, right? And then, of course, you got Bricc Baby, to which he comes from, no one knows, right? Where out they, right? Where are you? No one knows where this guy comes from. Guard! You know where he fucking comes from? He's from Atlanta, he's from LA, he's from a whole bunch of different places, but at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, he's definitely right there on No Pumper doing his thing. You notice that Adam 15 and a half was definitely up out the mix because he's already got his own thing going on. He can't fucking be in that mix. Anyways, these guys decided to do an interview with what they considered a gay Crip. Now, I'm here to tell you, man, and to the gay community that's going to be all upset, there's not a problem with sitting down with the gay man and having a civil conversation. You know, if you're straight and they're going a different way, ain't nothing wrong with that. You can have simple conversation. You could be friends. You could be amigos. You could do all that. But at the end of the day, this was like a parody. It seemed to me like these guys, these individuals, them three right there, were trying to make fun of or basically shit on the situation. Shit ain't a good word when you're talking about this type of stuff, right? When it talks about this guy, it sounded like they were trying to disrespect a certain hood, you know, and they were using this as means to do that. Now, that ain't cool. If you got a problem with someone, if you got a problem with a hood or you got a problem with a certain situation, handle your business like men. Men will do men things. But in this case, these three individuals were sitting there having a conversation con un pinche Subway sandwich, right? Footlongs, doing different things. And I thought it odd, man. And I didn't want to touch on this subject right immediately. But after sitting back and kind of analyzing and looking at it, I'm going to call it for what it is, man. I'm going to call it for what it is. And what it is bullshit, right? These guys were making fun of this guy because of his sexual orientation and because of what he has going on. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Let me make sure motherfuckers ain't creeping, right? I ain't seen a whole lot of gay Hoovers in my lifetime, right? Anyone representing the Hoover name or Crips, and them are two separate entities unless you're from Five Deuce, but that's a whole different story. They don't go together. They don't gel. They don't mesh. So it's like Nikes and Asics. It's just, it can't be. It's like wearing a fucking a Jumpman sweater, a Jordan sweater, and Pumas. Motherfucker, use a poop butt, right? Tuck your laces in. You're not going to see that. But the way that Bricc Baby and C-Mac conducted this interview or whatever you want to call it, this simple conversation, was pretty outlandish, man. It seemed like they were clowning this guy. They were going in on him. They were throwing slights and subliminals without him even knowing. And he wasn't even aware of what was going on. This guy's Crippin' was on a whole different level, right? He was definitely over there cheerleading and just happy to be in a situation where he could sit down on No Pumper when he wasn't even knowing the slights and the disses that were going on. Now, the way Bricc Baby was looking at him was he was mesmerized, right? The way Cripmac was looking at this guy was he was befuddled, confused, but hella excited. And this motherfucker Sharp was over there like the slickest, slyest cat like a who's who of the who's what, right? He was sitting back thinking, oh, put your head on my shoulders, right? He was definitely thinking of how he could manipulate this into some type of situation to get a bag. Now, if you could think and look into these guys' eyes and think about the songs that were playing through their heads, because they all had soundtracks playing through their heads, right? In Bricc Babies, I could think he was looking at this cat going, it's written all over your face. You don't have to say your word. He was off his rude boy shit. Of course, you had Cripmac over there, and you already know what's on his mind. Colors, 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 colors. He was oblivious to what was going on. You know, he just thought it was a chance to basically disrespect his enemies, to disrespect Hoovers, right? So that motherfucker was like, I am a nightmare walking psychopath talk. He was on 55th Street. And of course, Sharp was over there like, come a chameleon. He was getting his Boy George on. Hopefully he can get Boy George out there on the track to bring him a stack back like a young Mac. You know what I mean? He was trying to put some Oreos with the white glass of milk. He was doing his thing out there. You know what I mean? You can see that motherfucker is slicker than Sugar Free to Pip. He's on some different type of stuff. But this situation of these guys sitting down together, a lot of people are speaking on it and talking about it. Why are they talking about it? Because this is something you never thought you'd see. It's very innovative. It's very different, right? It shows that these guys are open-minded, or are they? One never knows, does one? You know, when it comes to me, I'm going to tell you guys a story. I have a homeboy from my neighborhood, right? And his brother happens to be a transmission, right? He happens to be he's been doing this shit since the 80s. Ain't nothing new to this. That Vato was definitely true to this, right? And we all knew him. And we all knew who his brothers were. And his brothers were no jokey joke, right? They were from the hood. And this guy, Chela, was out there on the block on 16th Street in the Strip trying to get papers, right? But we respected him because he didn't push none of that shit on nobody else. Hey, if you didn't go that way, shorty swing my way. Then they weren't doing that, right? He wasn't trying to push that. And plus, everyone knew who his brothers were. And if you disrespected him, so I was going, you're going to have to deal with the big bad wolves. And they were going to huff and puff and blow everything down. Meanwhile, their brother was blowing shit down. But that was different, okay? So I've always been of the understanding and know that I treat people with respect no matter of their sexual orientation, what they're into, man. It's cool to tell some jokes and have some fun and cap a little bit. But at the end of the day, man, it's really not a big deal. If someone is on the other side and they're doing that foot-long Subway sandwich, that's on them. You know what I mean? What if they like fucking, man, if they like cilantro and bacon and everything on their chili dog, let them does that, because that won't stop, right? They're going to do what they does, because on Power Rule, that motherfucker Whack 100 was like, I wish I was in on that interview. We already know, man, but you got Blueface. You guys stick together like fucking chili on dog and do your thing. Now, Bricc Baby strikes me as a suspicious individual, because some of the times when this guy was speaking, man, his eyes lit up like a motherfucking Christmas morning, right? Now, Cripmac, of course, is oblivious to the game. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. He knew just about as much as the other guy knew, right? And they're just sitting there trying to give this guy Klecha and lace him up and tell him about California politics and what it is to be a Hoover and what it is to be a Crip, right? When you have two individuals that are from a rival hood of Hoovers, they're the last people on earth that should be giving Klecha to a Hoover. Now, this guy, let's go over here. Let's go over the rainbow, the reading rainbow, right? And let's get our LeVar Burton on, and let's say that this guy over here was confused, right? And not confused because of his sex. He wasn't confused on that. He knew what he wanted. Okay, no Sharp? He knew exactly what he wanted, right? It wasn't that. He was more confused on what he was trying to do as far as cripping and being gay at the same time. Like I said, these things don't mix traditionally. But we're in a different age and a different era. It's different, eh? It's different. It's come a chameleon. It's very different now. And people are taking one aspect of the game and they're hitting the whole trajectory and they're going way over here with it, right? This guy considers himself a gay Crip. Now, I don't know the work he's put in. I don't know if he's really about that life. He may be, or he may have been. You know, at the same time, he's rapping, he's cripping, he's dipping, he's hoovering, he's gaying. He's doing all kinds of stuff. And me, I come from an era of wow, right? Got son of a bitch. They're doing that shit nowadays. But it is what it is. Okay? I thought it was wild for these guys to even sit down and try to clutch up or give game to someone who's of that realm, right? Why? Because you're trying to put two different worlds together, man. And who are out of everyone in the world, Utterly rest in peace, Tookie, right? Out of everyone in the world, who the fuck are Bricc Baby and C-Mac and Sharp to give any klecha? Well, Sharp probably has more klecha than both of them combined, right? But why is it their prerogative or why are they giving the fucking klecha to the gay guy? You know what I mean? He could teach them a thing or two. I'm not going to say they don't know already, but I'm just saying. Now, from what I took of the whole situation, like I said, it was a parody, man. They were just trying to clown this dude. Pobrecito, the fucking guy over here getting clowned doesn't even know it. He's over here cheerleading, you know, and just happy because he got a 6-inch sub, knowing damn well he wants the 1 3/4 long. And Cripmac didn't know. Cripmac was just hungry. Oh, 50 good. Mama Bear said everything's gonna see all right, right? He just wanted to eat. Bricc Baby was more in tune what was going on with the man's eyes, right? And like I said, Sharp was over there just bewildered. You know, he was just trying to get a sack out of it. Now, I seen Nina Boy react to it. And I'll be keeping up with Nina Boy's shit, man. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's the hardest guy, harder than a box of rocks. But I'm going to say that I definitely watch a lot of his material because he's funny, man. He's funny and he got some shit going on, right? The Bosco fight was about as bad as my fight, brother. But we'll save that for another day in another video, right? But when it comes to what he had to say about it, I agree in some aspects of the game. I don't agree that you can be a person of a different sexual orientation and hoovering and cripping, right? Now, I'm sure there's a lot of guys on the slunders, they could keep it on the unders, right? That have went to prison or went to county jails and decided if not, they need to check some oil. So I was getting my shit's running bad. I need to check some oil, right? They've decided to do that. And we all know traditionally the jokes, you know what I mean? Ooh, Tupac, right? We already know how motherfuckers perceive people as getting down. We got to stick together, homies. Oh, Crip. Jody, right? But it's not like that, man. It's not like what people think or what people perceive or these old myths that are going on. If a motherfucker's a chiruhu, he's just a chiruhu. And if he's out there throwing it up, there's motherfuckers like Fleece Johnson that are going to run to it. And that's just how it is. But everyone ain't out there doing that. So you got to separate the gang realm and what's really going on in the streets and really going on in the penitentiaries and county jails to what is going on nowadays in this wild world we live in. It's a little different. I call it wild because I don't know any other descriptive word to speak on, no adjectives, or verb, whatever the fuck it is, right? But I know this. It's just different to my ways of thinking and to a lot of other people's ways of thinking. But these guys sat down, though. Bricc Baby said, you dropped the bomb on me, baby. Right? He sat down with this guy and was asking some pretty outlandish questions. It seemed like they wanted this guy to get very descriptive. They wanted to know what a chili dog was. They wanted to know exactly when this guy, how this guy, why come, how come, where come. There's a whole lot of come. Bricc Baby, you'll get to that, right? They wanted to know exactly why this motherfucker was doing what he does. I kind of wanted to know why he was cripping and at that same time gaying, right? But it is what it is. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, you can't stop a man from being or from having his true beliefs and believing what he wants to believe in. You know, I got good friends, man, in this real world, not on YouTube, not in the gangster life, none of that are gay men, right? They do their thing. Keep that shit. See that guy over there? He's also like you. There. See this guy right here? Don't even look at this guy right here. I'm right here. Call me, homie. You know what I mean? So I need to borrow some money. That's about how far our friendship goes. But I understand, man, everybody's different, and this is the world we live in nowadays. And if you can't adapt to that and be a man and be respectful, then you fucking bumped your head, okay? You have to respect everyone, man. You know, in the gang life, we all want respect. That's what everyone strives for. That was the number one goal. Respect, homie. Respect from your homeboys. Respect from the bitches. Respect from the big homies. Respect from other gangs, from your enemies. You wanted that. You strived for it. That's what it's all about, homies. Money, power, pussy, and respect. Not necessarily in that order. I like the pussy first. But I'm just saying, everybody wanted a little bit of respect. So you have to respect other people. So you get what you give. I learned that a long time ago. See, I was gamed up by real ones. You get what you give. The type of energy you put out is what you're gonna get. And the type of energy that fucking this guy was putting out was rainbowish, right? It was a little rainbowish, but you had to respect him. Now, I'm gonna keep it real and calm, cool, and correct when I say that these guys, they kept it real civil and slightly respectful, but at the end of the day, man, that was a very disrespectful fucking interview, the way they were treating this man, the way they were playing him out of pocket. Gaming him up, and at the same time, throwing little innuendos out there like 6-inch or a foot long. Bricc, baby, what was on your mind? This motherfucker was trying to eat. He was trying to eat some pastrami or some bologna. Your mind was on a whole different level. Who was really the one that was thinking Chiruhu shit? Orderly, Bricc, baby. Will hold. It just shows me the character of a man. Any man who has to disrespect a motherfucker and slice and can't just be straight up and say, hey, fuck you, Holmes. Or I'm feeling some type of way. Why even sit down with a man like that if you're going to sit back and double back and clown on him? That ain't cool. Now, this whole situation, you got Nina Boy clowning, having a good time about it, and all these other individuals, speaking on it. We know at the end of the day, hey, whatever anyone at that panel's sexual orientation was is up to them, and it's their fucking prerogative. They could do what they want to do. They can get their Bobby Brown on. Gaquita Brown, right? But that's just how it is. All I took from it was that was definitely disrespectful, man. These guys were trying to diss this guy, and they were trying to basically run the Hoover name through the mud. I could be wrong, but that's the way I deciphered it. That's the way I looked at it and seen it. Spence on la tira if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Were they fucking not chili dogging it? Okay, now, when it comes to this guy, I don't know who he is. Pretty Tony or whatever the fuck they call him, right? He's up out of Houston, Texas. And he's a rapper, and he's a gay Hoover and a Crip. I thought a long time. See, I was in YA when the Hoover Crips turned to Hoover Crim. Now, I understand 5 Deuce, I believe, are still cripping, allegedly. I could be wrong. It's none of my business. But I was there in YA 93 when the Hoovers went criminal. They dropped the blue rag and picked up the orange, right? They went crim. Hoover Criminal Gang. See, I was around in that era, man. I remember all that. I remember them having a junta right there on the compa with the Crips and getting at him and like, we just criminals, right? And doing that thing. So this guy, what he's got going on, you got to understand their politics are different in different states. That's why I say, man, I've always tripped out. I understand about spreading the hood gospel, Billy Graham style. I understand about all that. And having your Vaudou in your hood, you see Vaudou's like 18 and Florencia and these big Vaudou's respects, homes everywhere. And I always tripped out because that's, in my neighborhood where I'm from, man, the area I claimed at one point, right? My hood could only be my hood. That was it. We couldn't have us in Idaho or Montana or Wyoming or fucking Nebraska. It wasn't like that. We were a smaller neighborhood and this was it. Sasuke is that fucking store right there. No. That's a Chiru. That's what we're talking about. Move him to the side. That chick over there and that was it. That was the hood, right? But I see a lot of these bigger gangs going more mainstream. They're everywhere. Japan, China, ding, 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 ding. They're getting their fucking whatever you're on. Well, then whatever comes with it, comes with it. See, when it comes to the Hoovers, I guess they're in different states, they're in different areas, and that's cool, man. Promote your hood, be proud of it. But then what's going to happen when motherfuckers like that come to LA? People are going to feel some type of way because they wiggle differently, or he does. I'm not going to say their whole hood because that'd be slanderous, blasphemous, and bullshit. But I will say that this guy right here definitely, or whatever he chooses to identify as, because I fucking get in trouble for saying that. Whatever this non-bio, whatever he is, creature, from the lagoon decides to say what he wants, and does what he wants, doesn't have no reflection on the gang. But at the same time, you had Bricc, baby, and of course fucking Cripmac over there, still oblivious to what's going on. That motherfucker was in there dancing, right? Sending shots, at basically the LA Hoovers over what this guy is doing, man. This guy has no reflection on that, straight up. Anyways, I just thought this interview was set up and meant to be very destructive. Ain't that right, Cripmac? I thought Bricc, baby, was so in tune with what the guy was going on. I'm sure they had a lot of conversations after. Of course, Cripmac is just happy to be in the position he's in. He fucking stumbled, tripped, fell in caca, did a fucking somersault, 2 cartwheels, and rolled into a whole bunch of fucking views in a character known as Cripmac. And there he stands, and everybody watches him, myself included. Hey, we'll give him 100,000 views to go get a taco. And of course, where was China Mac at? You notice China Mac wasn't there? Oh, hell no, cuz, right? China Mac was like, nah, because see the way New York works. Other than China Mac, I know, motherfucker, right? He was gone. That fool was over there like, dung, 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 dung. He bounced up out of there, right? And of course, Sharp ain't, look, when it comes to the pimping, motherfuckers know, the pimping is the pimping is the pimping, right? Sharp is just trying to see if he could wiggle out the situation. That motherfucker, look, he was obnoxious. He was clowning. He was mystified. But his mind was on the money, and the money was on his mind, right? When that motherfucker did this, Sharp said, oh, we can make that work. I said, we can make that work. Anyways, man, Be on the lookout for the new movie, Chili Dog, starring C-Mac, Bricc Baby, and a cameo by Sharp doing this. Put your head on my shoulders. And you just never know, man, what it'd be like. Man, YouTube is getting wild. It's a wild world. But really, at the end of the day, I'm just having fun and clowning, man. This is no disrespect to anyone. Who cares, man? So they sat down with the game, man. What's the big deal on that? You know, to each man their own. That shows the elevation in their game. That actually shows that they're stepping outside of the box, man. And that's why a lot of people are tuned in and turned up and talking about it. There's gay rappers. And now I guess there's gay gangbangers. But like, there's always been gay gangbangers. But you guys, fools out there like that. You know what I mean? Orderly Prince. She don't have to be rich to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign. Orderly. Getting his Prince on. You already know what it is. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you don't judge this video and think, oh, I'm bashing somebody. Because I'm not. I'm just having a good time, man. I'm just calling it for what it is, man. Chili Dog, starring whoever. You know what I mean? If you want to be in it, fucking go hit a Bricc Baby. I'm sure he'll let you in. You know what it is, man? Hey, have a good day. Have a great week, man. Get up out of bed if you ain't out of bed, man, and laugh one time for your mind. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and struggle and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's providing the best possible entertainment I can for the raza, the blacks, and the woods, brother. Well, what about the Asians? China Mac wasn't there. He knew better, so he did better. Bang, bang, the gun.